Hello, everybody, and welcome to Story Time with Mr. Marcus. And today, Mr. Bird has a suggestion. He would like to hear the story of Jack and the Beanstalk because he heard that I'd been talking about the beanstalk or big high trees. Because, Mr. Bird, where do you live? You live out there, outside the window on the 18th floor. Yes, I know sometimes you go to the other balcony and you fly out and you don't come back until the morning. Where are you? You're in your nest outside. Sometimes I like you to snuggle up beside me at night time, so that you can keep me warm during the night with that aircon that keeps me very cold. I know I like that too. But sometimes you like to be alone as well. Okay, so you sleep out there in the big high tree. And you heard about a story about a boy called Jack and a beanstalk, which grew very, very high up there. Okay, I'll start the story and I'll talk to you again after the story. Okay, fly away outside to your beanstalk. Oh no, you can stay here and listen. Okay, so today we're talking about Jack and the beanstalk. Let's get started. There was once a poor widow who lived with her son, Jack, far out in the country. Jack was a good-natured but lazy. When at last there was no money left to buy food, Jack's mother told him to take the dairy cow to market. The dairy cow to market. Look, I got a dairy cow. And sell her for a good price. On his way to market, Jack met a strange man who asked him where he was going with the cow. I'm going to market to sell her, he said. I will give you these 5 magic beans for the cow, said the strange man. Jack thought this was a good bargain, so he traded the cow for 5 beans. Jack hurried home and said, Look at the 5 beans I've got for the cow. You foolish, lazy boy, cried his mother angrily. Now we will go hungry. She threw all the beans out of the window, and she and Jack went to bed without any supper. When Jack awoke early the next morning, he noticed an odd shadow across his window. He ran outside to see that a huge beanstalk had sprung up during the night. It grew so high he could not see the top. Jack was curious and decided to climb the beanstalk. He climbed for hours. When he finally reached the top, he saw a great castle in the sky. The magnificent castle looked as if it was a vision in a dream. Jack knew from his tired arms and legs that he had not just dreamed his long climb. He rubbed his eyes to make sure he wasn't seeing things. As he got closer to the castle, Jack met a beautiful fairy. She told Jack that the giant who lived in the castle had killed Jack's father long ago and had stolen all of his gold. The tiny fairy said that he should take back what was rightfully his. Then she disappeared. When Jack reached the steps, he asked the giant's huge wife for some supper. If you stay here, the giant will have you for supper, she said. But Jack was so hungry, he did not care. The woman gave in and fixed Jack a good supper. Soon they heard the thump, thump of heavy footsteps. Just as the giant entered the room, his wife hit Jack in the oven. The giant sniffed the air and roared, Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. It's just your supper, said the wife. The giant ate his huge supper in one huge swallow. Then he roared, Fetch my gold coins. The woman, brought in bags of gold coins that had belonged to Jack's father. The giant fell fast asleep, counting the money. Jack took the bag of gold and ran back to the beanstalk. He threw the bag down to his mother's garden and climbed down as fast as he could. Jack's mother was overcome with joy when gold coins rained down. They could now take care of their needs for a while. But then one day, the gold ran out. Jack disguised himself and went back up the beanstalk again. He wanted more of his father's gold. When Jack returned to the castle, very tired and hungry, the giant's wife did not want to help him. "The last time I helped a boy, stole a bag of my husband's gold," she said. But Jack was so polite that she finally let him in and gave him a drink of water. Just then, the giant's footsteps shook the floor. Jack barely had time to hide in the oven before the giant entered the kitchen and roared angrily, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." "Don't be silly," said the giant's wife. The giant ate his supper, and then he told his wife to bring him his hen. Jack heard the giant shout, "Lay!" Then he peeked through a hole in the oven, and he saw the egg lay a perfect golden egg. After he told the hen to lay 3 golden eggs, the giant fell asleep. Jack leaped from the oven, snatched the hen, and ran. When Jack reached the beanstalk, he began to climb down quickly. He took the wonderful hen to his mother. The hen laid a golden egg on command every time. With the golden eggs, Jack and his mother were able to fix up the cottage, and there was always plenty to eat. After a while, however, Jack decided to climb back up the beanstalk. Jack sneaked back into the castle and hid in a large pot. The giant sniffed the air and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum." His wife went over to the oven and looked in, but there was no boy inside. After the giant ate his supper, he called for his magic harp. His wife quickly brought him his beautiful harp of gold. The giant told the harp to play. It began to play the most enchanting music Jack had ever heard. It was not long before the giant was lulled to sleep by the music. When Jack heard the giant snoring, he knew it was safe to climb out of the pot. He grabbed the giant's harp and started to run away with it. "Master, master," the harp cried. The giant awoke with a start. Jack jumped off the table, the harp in his hands. Just as the giant made a grab for him, Jack tightly held on to the harp and ran for his life. Jack could hear the huge thump of the giant's footsteps closing in behind him. He knew the giant took large steps, so his fear was great. But the angry giant had just finished a filling supper, and that slowed him down enough for Jack to reach the beanstalk ahead of the giant. Jack clumsily climbed down the beanstalk with the harp, calling out to his mother as he went, "Mother, bring me the axe." No. The giant was halfway down the beanstalk when Jack reached the ground. He took the axe from the mother. With one mighty chop, he cut the beanstalk in two. The giant crashed to the ground and died. Jack, his mother, the hen, and the harp lived happily ever after. Well, I'll say one thing. That giant should not have stolen Jack's father's gold or his hen or his money or his harp. What did you think of that, Mr. Bird? It was rather sobering. You got a little bit afraid at times, did you? Especially when the giant fell down the tree, down the beanstalk, because you live in a tree and you'd be afraid you'd fall down too. I can imagine that, but don't worry, Mr. Bird. It's only a story. I have never seen a hen that can lay a golden egg. I know you've seen lots of birds laying eggs, but they're not made of gold. Have you ever seen a harp, Mr. Bird, that could play a tune itself? No, you've seen people playing the harp, but you've never seen a harp doing that. That's okay, Mr. Bird. Tonight, I would like if you'd sleep in my bed so that we can go to bed together and cuddle up together. Okay, we'll do that. Yes, yes. Okay, guys, that was the Jack and the Beanstalk. A lovely story. It's time for me and Mr. Bird to go to bed now. So see you again soon. Bye.